There is no emotion, there is peace. There is no ignorance, there is knowledge. There is no passion, there is serenity. There is no chaos, there is harmony. There is no death, there is the Force. The Jedi Code always worked wonders to give the BARSEN'THOR a presence of calm and meaning. They recited it often while meditating upon the Defender, their personal starship. The Rift Alliance delegates could usually be heard in the background, arguing, debating, and searching for new ways to find common ground with one another. Although the ship's hyperdrive was idle, the subtle hum of the coils receiving power from the main systems could still be heard. These sounds were not distractions or inconveniences, but rather they served as a source of grounding for the Jedi Order's warden. A connection to the living Force came easy when embracing peace of the moment. There is no emotion, there is peace. The BARSEN'THOR continued their repetition of the Jedi mantra, but as they entered the second tenet, a terrible feeling struck her directly in the chest. She felt fear, pure, unfiltered fear. Without knowing it, she had instinctively reacted by defending herself, raising her arms as though she was stopping something from above that would cause her harm. Instead, all she had actually done was accidentally make a hole in the ship's roof. The blast that the Jedi created had even torn through the spaceport permacrete, forming a brand new landing zone for anyone who needs it. Fortunately, the debris and damage was isolated to just one direction, leaving behind an incredible hole in the shape of a cone stood on its point. No one around was injured, not that she could sense. Why did I do that? She thought to herself. Her palms were condensed with sweat, her heart beating so rapidly it was like she could feel it bursting out to the floor beneath her. All that would be missing is the vibrational beating upon the metal surface. The Rift Alliance delegates rushed to the BARSEN'THOR's quarters after hearing the commotion. She assured them that everything was okay, but she had not yet spoken with the Jedi Council about this disturbance she had just felt through the Force. She wished to do so immediately. Zenith volunteers to fix the brand new hole in the ship, although it wasn't clear if he just meant he was going to pay someone else to do it. The cost would come out of the Jedi's personal wallet, of course. Being on the BARSEN'THOR's crew had its perks after all. The Jedi gathers herself and then proceeds to contact the Jedi Temple on Typhon. She must speak with the Jedi Council. The holocom wears to life, but after almost 10 minutes of waiting, there is no answer. Well, I guess now that I'm a council member, it should be okay to deal with this alone. For now, she said aloud. She wasn't speaking to anyone. She tried to make the holocall in privacy, but talking to herself helped in situations of solitude. She wasn't sure why she had felt this disturbance, but she figured it must be something to do with the peace summit that's about to happen. Realizing that the delegates will be meeting soon, she rushed off to get there on time. A sense of cold and loneliness followed her the entire journey. To her surprise, the peace summit actually went quite well. The noble houses were able to form a compromise that resulted in a ceasefire and exchange of prisoners. It seemed as though peace was the agenda for everyone. As everybody stood to leave, the Jedi was once again struck in the heart. Sensing a deep connection to the living Force, she pushed her mind into the disturbance to witness what the Force wanted her to see. Her head turned to the sky above, and her focus came to a small green sheen in the night sky. "Is that a star?" she asked herself. The answer came right after, when the small speck of green became a blinding light that seemingly was aimed right at her. The light filled the sky in all but a moment before becoming too bright to even conceive. She is forced to look away and shield her vision, but as she turns back, all she sees are the confused faces of the Alderaan delegates. "Are you okay, Master Jedi?" one of them said. "You've been acting strange this entire time. Your tension is through the roof," another one of them said. "I'm sorry, I have sensed a great disturbance in the Force," she confessed. "I think I'm going to stick around for a while and meditate on this," she added. "Suit yourself, it is an excellent view." The delegates left the area. The BARSEN'THOR walks to the edge of the Elysium and begins to fall deep into meditation. Despite the majestic view from the tremendous height of the Elysium, and the calming sounds of the Alderaan wilderness. It took much longer than usual for the BARSEN'THOR to enter a state of peace. The cold and lonely feeling that had followed her interrupted the Jedi's natural ability to commune with the Force. Something happens here. In the future? Answers were finally coming to her. She could feel a deep connection to the core of this world. Whispers could be heard, but their words were not quite clear enough to comprehend. The longer she stayed connected to the planet, the more intensely she could feel the matter around her, as if she was scooping up the land in the palm of her hands. The trees, the creatures, even the beautiful buildings constructed eons ago. All this and more could be felt through the Force. The BARSEN'THOR was privileged to experience it, but she came here to find answers. She was able to sense Alderaan's future. She could hear people walking through the markets and buying local delicacies.
Roast Gorak, bird! Get your tasty roast Gorak!
She finally heard something that made sense, but it wasn't anything that seemed relevant, just a friendly local selling snacks. An onset of voices came in clear as day all of a sudden, almost overwhelming the Jedi to the point of losing focus. Barely, she was able to maintain herself. As she regained control of her mind, she began to filter through the voices, searching for something that might be a clue.
Since you are reluctant to provide us with the location of the rebel base...
There, she heard something. This was the first Imperial accent she had heard out of the hundreds, maybe thousands of voices so far.
I have chosen to test this station's destructive power on your home planet of Alderaan.
She heard the voice say, but were they serious? Did they intend to do a bombing run on the surface of the world? She couldn't quite tune in on the location of the voice. Forming a visual would be impossible if she didn't know where they were. Clearly, they were close enough to the planet for them to be heard through the Force. Whoever this person is, they must be aboard a starship, likely orbiting the planet, she thought to herself. To get a better understanding, she took her focus back to the markets. Here, she attempted to see through the eyes of a passerby. A woman who was seated nearby jolted to her feet and pointed to the sky.
Look! What is that?
The Jedi jumped into her perspective and saw what the woman saw. A space station that could be mistaken for a small moon given its size. It had entered orbit around Alderaan. On the front of the space station was a feature like an antenna, but as the Jedi studied it further, the nose lit up green. What happened next horrified her to the bones. Destroyed. Utterly and entirely destroyed. There was nothing left of Alderaan but dust and sand. The Empire had created a weapon so devastating it could annihilate an entire world in all but a moment. The BARSEN'THOR had witnessed everything. The moment the world exploded into atoms, she came out of her meditative state and fell to the ground. It was not uncommon for a Jedi to unknowingly levitate 20 feet into the air while experiencing a powerful connection. She landed on the ground with a heavy thud. So many. Gone, she said aloud. A tear rolled down the inside of her cheek and pivoted direction to the tip of her nose. It hung there for a moment, before falling onto the Jedi's robe, absorbed by the cheap and coarse material. She recited the Jedi mantra a few times to collect herself. Why the Force had shown her this catastrophe was currently a mystery, but all Jedi understand that the Force works in many ways you cannot imagine. One thing she did know for certain was that she would not allow this to happen in Alderaan's future. But how do I warn the Jedi in the future of this? She asked herself. Many years ago, Master Yuan Pa had shown the Jedi how to leave a mark on an object, like an imprint, giving any inanimate object a hidden message that could be used as a sign for other Jedi. Such methods were used in and around the proving grounds of Typhon to help Padawans steer clear of dangerous areas. I'll leave an imprint that can't be missed, she decided, but leaving an imprint atop the Elysium did not make much sense. How far into the future this message needed to last was unclear, but the Jedi did not want to risk losing the hidden sign to a decaying structure. so she opted to find a more ideal location. Underground would suffice, perhaps even a Killick tunnel. Eventually she decided on leaving an imprint among one of the oldest trees that lived on Alderaan. The locals had named the tree Unity, because members of all houses respected its right to exist. It might have been one of the only things that gave the noble houses common ground these days. Knowing this landmark would be treasured for eternity, an imprint here would surely not go unnoticed. To make sure the right person would get the message, the BARSEN'THOR meditated near the tree to once again connect with the living force. She forced her mind to think about the tragic deaths of those who perished in the blast, and from there she could hopefully find the identity of the Jedi's Grand Master, or maybe even the future BARSEN'THOR, meaning she could leave the sign for exactly the right person to help. But she sensed nothing. She knew her mind had gone to the right place, yet she wasn't able to sense the presence of any Jedi. Where are you? She delved even deeper into the Force, risking her sanity for the sake of Alderaan's future. She had never ventured this far while in a meditative state before. Being careful was necessary. An untrained Jedi who lacks discipline would easily lose their mind to the vast complexity of the void. Fortunately, the BARSEN'THOR is a Jedi Master. After what felt like hours of searching through the future galaxy for any Jedi, she concluded that someone must be shielding their presence. Willing to risk it all, she pushes one last time, broadening her search with more powerful waves of energy. "I found one," she said to herself in celebration. But this wasn't your average Jedi. She could feel an immense amount of power from this individual. There was no doubt in her mind that what she was feeling was a divine aura, or even a vergence in the Force. "The Chosen One," she exclaimed. Cold, so very cold, lonely, and... "This is no Jedi," she said aloud. A man in what appeared to be a full suit of armor appeared in front of her, breathing heavily with consistent strides. A Dark Lord of the Sith. But how could the Chosen One be a Dark Lord? The prophecy was clear with its words. A Jedi will bring balance to the Force. How and why would the Chosen One turn to the dark side?
Execute Order 66.
A vision had appeared and happened so fast, it caused the Jedi to stumble to the ground and hold her own head. As if she didn't, her head would explode from the stream of information that had entered her mind. Bile collected in her throat. Her arms were furiously trembling. The heartbeat in her chest felt as though it broke a rib with every murmur. The Jedi Order. Killed. Wiped out. The day of the Sith finally came. In the war she was raised by, the Jedi Order survived. It lived on. But there, in the future, they were completely annihilated. It was hard for the Jedi to stand. The amount of distress she was experiencing could probably be felt by every Jedi in the galaxy. The notion was somewhat confirmed when she looked up to see 3 Jedi who had run to her aid. "Master, are you okay? We sensed you were in distress." I think we all did," the first Jedi said. "I'm okay. I just need a moment to breathe," she said in response. The BARSEN'THOR learns that the 3 Jedi had actually been stood guarding her, waiting over by the gate entrance. Turns out she had meditated next to Unity for almost 6 months. Concerned for her safety, the Jedi Council appointed 3 Jedi Knights to stand watch until the Jedi Order's warden woke up. "I must speak with Grandmaster Satele at once. The prophecy must be destroyed."